Single week. What is going on YouTube? I toast you on this Friday. I'm so happy to be here. And today I have something really exciting to share with you today. If you're still wandering around lost, trying to market your business, thinking to yourself, "Oh, I need to develop my customer avatar." And you sit down one day and all you think about is, oh, let's give the let's give this customer a name. This is Jessica and she's my perfect client. You might as well be going to work in a horse-drawn carriage because you're using an antiquated technique that there is something you have so much more capability now to define who your perfect audience is. You have so much more capability and so much more access to things to help you define it. I'm not telling you that it's unimportant to think about who that perfect person is. You should know because if you market to, if your market is women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, you don't want to be writing messages to teenagers. So you've got to know that from a level. But I'm going to tell you today, and I'll share this with you today, there are things that you can be doing right now to vastly improve finding your perfect audience and getting them to step out of the shadows wanting to work with you. These are the people who are problem aware and solution seeking, and we want them to identify you, write this down. We want them to identify you as the sole source for the solution they seek. They are PASS right now. They are problem aware and solution seeking. And you're sitting around trying to give them a name and figure out how many dogs they have. Stop wasting your time doing that. Start doing something else, which I'll teach you right now. In fact, I'm keep trying to take a drink of this. At some point I will. If this is your first time ever seeing me, where have you been? I hope you have a note excusing you. My name's Chris, and for the last 25 years, I have had thousands of paying clients. These are people who want to have a dramatic impact on those they serve, and they want to get paid handsomely and beautifully for doing so. And by the way, they want to have a little bit of fun and happiness in their business because that's why they started their businesses, probably why you started yours. So if you're someone who wakes up in the morning and you look at yourself thinking about your business and you say, is this all there is? This is for you. This is for you. And I help those kind of people, but I do it in a way like you might not think. I'm going to put a link into the chat that I think is going to help you, by the way. I'll probably put this in a few times. It's actually my website, ninetwice.com. I have a really awesome thing to share with you there. It's a how to optimize LinkedIn for normal people. I like to work with normal people and I like to turn them extraordinary. But if you're like a normal person and you want to just get better at LinkedIn, I have a free ebook right there. Just go to the homepage. It's right there at the top, staring you in the face. Just go grab that thing. It is going to help you in ways you can't possibly imagine right now. Let's get to work on the perfect client detector and how to find the exact people who will throw money at you, which means I'm going to share my screen and we're going to take some notes. I do not have a fancy schmancy slide deck to share with you today or anything like that. I just want to help you out. And so we're going to take some notes as we do this. I might open up some other tabs to show you some techniques. By the way, if you do decide to go to the website to ninetwice.com, this is what it looks like. And that's what the ebook looks like. It's probably that thick as well. And you just click that yellow button that says download the free ebook and you'll have that thing delivered right to you. So please go do that. It's just going to help you. All right, so here are the notes, the perfect client detector, how to find the exact people who will throw money at you. And so let's really talk about this because here's the truth. Here is the truth bomb. If you don't know exactly who you're talking to, if you don't know the language that they use in their lives and in their business, and if you can't figure out the language that they use in here that they never speak, that is like trying to grow a garden by planting Lego pieces. It's just not going to work. So what I want to do I don't know, maybe it will work. I've never planted a Lego piece. By the end of arc time today, I want you to be able to identify the hidden language that they're only speaking in their brains that they never talk to anybody else about. Because that's where there is a level of desperation for the offer that you have. You can sell things to people if they are problem aware and they're solution seeking, and your solution is rapidly solves a problem they are desperate to have solved. If they're not desperate to have it solved, they're not going to buy from you. And not everybody who has the problem you solve wants to solve that problem. Point number one, consideration. I thought I could do, I was going to try to use my voice to text, but I can't get it to work. I wish I could. The button that I normally press to do. That's great. Do you see that? Is it still active? Is it still active? Yeah, it is. Okay. Point number one is that right now, your perfect audience exists and they are out there. They're online. They are problem aware and they are solution seeking and they're looking for you right now. And if you're spending time just sitting around trying to name this person and figure out how many dogs they have, you're not doing the things necessary to get them to come to you as the sole source for the solution that they seek. I like my little voice to text trick. Consideration number two, which now the keyboard stops working. How great. Let me just refresh this. There we go. Consideration number two is that there's a hidden dialogue going on in their head. You must find a way to tap into that. Consideration number three is that without this, you're trying to grow a garden by planting Legos. But the reality is this, and here's what I want you to think about and consider. If we are looking at the garden analogy, if you are competing with somebody else to grow the best garden, and you look at them, and here's what they did. They went down to the garden center and they bought every seed they could possibly buy, and they ripped them all open and they dumped them all on the lawn, and they sat and they hoped. That's kind of what you're doing right now in trying to get clients. If you're just randomly posting on social media when you feel like it, if your posts are all about you instead of all about the problem that you solve, and if you're not actively seeking the hidden conversations that happen in people's brains. Now, consider you the person who got a little bit of guidance. You found someone who could teach you how to grow the right garden. And the things that you learned are, well, there are certain seeds that grow great in the climate that you're in. There are certain seeds that grow perfectly this time of year. And then you learned how to condition the soil. And then you went and you bought those seeds and you planted those seeds, but you made sure that the soil had the right nutrients in it. And then once things started to grow, you went down to the local garden farmers market and you said, what things sell the best? What do you see selling the best every week? And they told you that the cucumbers sold the best every week. So you went back and you put all of your attention on growing the perfect cucumbers. And then you harvested those cucumbers at the exact right moment. And you took those cucumbers down to the farmer's market and you made a killing. Meanwhile, the other person just threw out a bunch of seeds and hoped. And that's the difference. One person used hope as their strategy. The other person did research, had a guide to help them. Because we all know, write this down, we all know that you can go farther, faster with a guide. Somebody who's done it before. And that's what you did. You found someone who's grown. You found the person who's selling the vegetables, and they told you that the cucumbers sell the best. When you have that data, that's when things really start to accelerate, You can accelerate with data. So those are some considerations for you and a quick metaphor to help you like truly get this. So let's give a quick reality check here. The painful reality is most business owners are like the first gardener. They post content and they try to see who's interested. They are broad with the content that they produce. I help people with real broad topic. They think things like my ideal client is anybody who needs my service. But we know that's not true. Successful business owners, they're like the second example. They know exactly who not only they are inspired to serve, but who gets the best results. I think about the people that I'm inspired to serve. You know when you're inspired to serve someone when they message you at any time, 24 hours a day, and you can't wait to get back to them. Or you see them show up on a call. Like I've got a bunch of people on a call right now. You see them show up and you're just so inspired and excited to see them show up. You guys on YouTube, what you're watching is a simulcast of a weekly Q&A session, a weekly Q&A session for my mastermind. When I see the names show up, my heart just swells. These are the people who I'm deeply inspired to serve. But moreover, my ideal client is someone who understands that it takes work to get results. They're not lazy. These people are not lazy by any stretch. They don't think that there's a magic button that they can press. They understand that real results take time. So that's my ideal client. I don't have to give them a name or wonder what kind of car they drive or what they eat. I don't need that. I want to know what their true desires are. I want to know what specific problems they're trying to solve. You've got to understand that. And then you got to figure out where to find these people, what to do when it's time to reach out. But then the most important part is their language. What is the language they use? This is the big shift from hoping you get it right to actually architecting a structure that gets it right. Right? Hope is not a strategy in this case. So let's reverse this. Don't start with demographics. Start with transformation. Let's write that down. Here's your strategy. I don't know anybody else that talks about it this way. Don't start with demographics. That's where everybody else starts. Don't start with demographics. Instead, start with transformation. Write this down. Ask yourself this question. What is it that I can help people do better than anybody else? What specific result can you deliver better than anyone else? So that when people get on calls with you, they say things like, you're the only one that I want to work with. So instead of saying, let's say you're in fitness, instead of saying, I help people get fit, well, who specifically do you help better than anyone else? Like, I help new moms return to, I don't know. I don't want to say it the wrong way. I don't want to say it the wrong way because I have 4 kids and I know what my wife went through, after having kids. You don't want to put a lot of pressure on them. How about forget the new moms? Instead of I help people get fit. I want to be very careful with what I say here because I want to be very respectful to any new moms that might be out there. I help busy, overweight professional men in their 50s lose weight through strategized nutrition, Pilates, and help them deal with sleep deprivation. I can say that. That's very specific. That's what you do better than anybody else. I help service-based entrepreneurs wildly grow their profit, have bigger impact on the people they serve, and actually find fun in their business. That's what I do better than anybody else. My second superpower is having a keen sense of how not to piss off my wife. That's a superpower. I get it right 80% of the time. So who desperately needs this specific transformation? Okay, next point. Who specifically needs this transformation? And then you want to start asking yourself some questions. What's not working for them? You know how you can find that out? Ask them. When they come on your sales calls, ask them that question, write it down in a separate little notepad somewhere. It will start to converge on the same things over and over again. For me, when I say what's not working, many, many times I have people come to me and say, I hired someone who said they were going to do this for me and they didn't. And I lost a lot of money with what they said they were going to do and they never did it. I hired someone to edit my videos and my videos ended up looking like, God, I almost swore. Sorry, guys. My videos ended up looking like cartoons. I hired someone to build my brand. My brand looks like crap. I hired someone to make my logo. It looks like a drunk child made it. I hired someone to generate leads. I got a bunch of leads from people living in huts in fourth world countries that I've never heard of. Help. That's what's not working for them. And they just want the control back. So I show them how to take the bull by the horns. What do you do with a bull when you take it by the horns? Does anybody know? I'd be terrified. If I were standing here right now holding a bull by the horns, it's probably that's a terrible metaphor, Marina. Help me. What's a better one? I just want you to have control. So I teach you how to do it yourself. And I want you to understand that it takes work. That's what I do better than anybody else. What's holding them back in their brains? I got two more for you. What's holding them back in their thinking? What are they terrified of? And then here's the gold for you. What do they want that they never tell anybody about? They don't tell their wife, they don't tell their therapist, they don't tell their friends, their kids, they don't tell anybody. What do they want that they never tell anybody about? What searches are they doing in a private browser mode? What YouTube videos are they watching and then deleting their history? What are they looking at when someone else comes walking in the room and their screen goes dark? You tap into that, my friends, and now you've found your perfect audience who's willing to throw money at you. I didn't say it was going to be easy to find, but you got to find it. Once you know that, you will start to see that understanding the avatar, that's kindergarten. You're at a whole new level when you can understand that. Let's talk about how you do it. I'll give you some quick practical advice on how to do it. You want to think about things like what have they tried and failed? What are they what do they wish they could do, but they have no idea how to start? Let's write that down. This is a big one. I'm gonna bold that. That's how, what have they tried and failed? You can tap into this. You've got some gold. So here's one of the ways that I like to do it. There's a website called Reddit. I like to go to Reddit, and here's what I like about Reddit. Reddit is is reasonably anonymous because you create a Reddit account and it's not your name. You don't have to put anything about you. So there's lots that you can do in there's lots that you can see in Reddit that people are posting, but they're posting it with relative anonymity. And when people can post things anonymously, you're going to get a little bit deeper into their thought process. And so you can start to look through. I'm in the business subreddit, by the way. Inside of Reddit, you find subgroups here. And then you can start to dig through these subgroups. And it's kind of needle in haystack, but it's also real fun to do. And you can start to dig through here. And you can start to find some of the things that they're thinking about. And then like advice to buy my first franchise business. You go in here and you're going to start to understand the questions that they're asking, you can see, what are they afraid of? They're asking questions they're afraid of. This is the stuff that they're going to wake up in the morning with a stomach ache because they don't have this solved. And so I just start to look through here. Look at that, buying my dad's business. There's going to be a lot going on there. So like, I start to look at that. So what you do is you figure out whatever your niche is. I get some private clients here on the call, and I'm not going to use theirs because there's so much gold in there. I don't want to give that stuff away. Let's pick another niche like I don't know, fitness. Fitness seems pretty good. Let's do no, let's do this. Let's imagine you help people with their health. Let's go into intermittent fasting. Ooh, there's one just for women. That's even better. Let's do that. Now, because we start to really zoom in. I wouldn't be able to do this. Dudes have no place in here. But this is going to help me if I helped people with their nutrition and I helped them lose weight and got healthier, I would want to help them I would introduce them to intermittent fasting because it's phenomenal. Just because it's phenomenal. So you can start to read some of their fears when you start to read this. Going into a beginner, somebody talking a beginner, you're going to get a lot of questions there. This person's afraid that they're making too slow progress. Oh, can I just vent? Take a look at this. I've been doing 24 in carnivore for 5 months. And the only thing I've seen that even touches my weight, and I tried doing 16-8 and it didn't work for weight loss, but I'm so miserable during my fast. That's all we need right there. This is what this person who's anonymous, this is what they're thinking that they're not telling anybody about. And they got to come here to vent. Can you see the difference between just trying to figure out an avatar and understanding the inner dialogue that's happening in their brains? I'm struggling so much. Now, if you're sitting there thinking you should go here and market to this person, you've 100% missed the point. Close the browser and go apply for a job somewhere. The point here is not The point here is not this is the person you're marketing to. That's the small thinking person. That's the person who uses old ways of getting clients. Your job here is to see that and to take this. I'm so miserable during my fast. And now you go and you create content that talks about what's making you miserable during your fast. Now, hundreds or thousands of people who see that content read the title, Why You're So Miserable During Your Fast, and they go, holy, what the? How did they know? You're in their heads. This is what's keeping them up at night. Their spouse, this is for women, so they're, can't make any assumptions. Their spouse, their significant other, their spouse equivalent, their kids, their friends, their coworkers, their spiritual community, their social circle, the people that they go to book club with, they're all like, you are so miserable all the time. It's eating away at them. Solve this. They are desperate to solve this problem. So go solve it. Can you now see how the avatar approach just isn't germane anymore? And that you can do this instead? You have all of this available to you. I don't even, I know a lot about this, but it's not my job, but my goodness gravy. Oh, I shouldn't use the word gravy while I'm fasting. Any of you out fasting out there, you know what I'm talking about. Then you can go through the comments and see what other people are saying. And you get a whole bunch here. And then you see the, take some electrolytes. You need more than that. Okay, so what I'm trying to show you here is, what do they want that they don't tell anybody about? What have they tried and failed? How do you get into their heads to see the language that they're using to describe what's going on with them that they would never tell? That person is not going to sit down with their spouse and go, I'm so miserable all the time. Because they're hearing it from everybody. They know. They just want a solution to it. If you help people with nutrition and intermittent fasting as part of what you do, you have now just unlocked the keys to the kingdom. And all of your content can be geared towards that. And the people, I said this at the beginning, the people who are your perfect clients, that's your detector. They're going to step out of the shadows, ready to throw money at you. You think that person, how much would that person pay to no longer be miserable? Would they pay your monthly? You bet they would. But you're not marketing to them. You're marketing to the tens of thousands of people who are like them. I'm happier when I'm fasting, so I can't understand that. I'm glad that I saw that, because if I were an intermittent fasting coach, I'm happiest when I'm fasting. Like my stomach, I can literally feel my stomach rumbling right now. I'm surprised you can't hear it. Like I can feel it rumbling from top to bottom right now. And I'm not going to eat for another 5 hours. And I haven't eaten since 6 o'clock last night. I love this state. I would have never identified that it makes people miserable. So you're cursed with knowledge. You don't understand. I've been intermittent fasting for years. I would have never guessed that people are miserable during it, because I'm elated. I'm happy. I'm happiest during it. I'm not happy when I'm eating. It's not an eating disorder. I just know, I know what's going on inside my body right now, and I'm elated by it. I love what's happening to my cells right now. I can feel it. That person is cranky. Got to get them uncranky. Okay, so the point of all of this is finding that your perfect client detector is in the language that they use, openly and secretly. And that's going to help you find people that will throw money at you. Let me head over and make sure I'm not missing any chat. I'm not. You guys on YouTube, if you go to my website, which I put in the chat, but I'll put it in there again. I'll try to remember to put it in the video description as well. I have this really awesome ebook for you. It's completely free. I'd love to give it away. And when you go to that link, which is just my website, you'll see this right there. There it is. It's like you can't miss it. All you got to do is click this yellow button and you can get access to this book. You're going to get a ton out of this, especially if you use LinkedIn. It's going to show you how to optimize every aspect of LinkedIn for you. And then I also have a companion video that you'll get access to as well. That's free too. It's just to help you out even more. All right, YouTube. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Please go and do that work so that you're finding better clients, the people who will actually pay you.